Hey there, this is Daniel West for Hero Arts. I'm so happy you could join me today. We're going to play with these soft landscape fancy window die. Create this fun little window card. We're also going to include some other items from the April 2021 My Monthly Hero add-ons. But to get started, let's take a look at the die. This die will cut out a really neat little landscape design, perfectly geometric and kind of soft edges, rounded edges. That's why it's called the soft landscape die. We're going to use some Hero Arts Intens-ified black ink, some foam tape, just a few Copic markers in the yellow family, the Bug Hues stamp set and frame cuts. All of these stamps and dies came out this month from Hero Arts. We're also going to use the Embossing and Watermark clear ink, some anti-static powder, some sparkle embossing powder from Hero Arts, the Canary cardstock, part of the Hero Hues line, the circle and cylinders bold prints. This is a really fun geometric background stamp. And some Dove white cardstock. I've already pre-die cut my panel out here for you, or a panel out here for you. This card will be super simple but fun to do. Shouldn't be intimidating for anybody to try. I think anyone with these supplies ought to be able to make this stamp set. There's no fancy coloring involved. Not really. I do have a bit of Copics coming in here on the butterfly that I'm going to color in a bit, but we're going to switch out the praying mantis for the butterfly. But first, let's treat our Canary cardstock with some anti-static powder tool and then ink up our bold prints with some clear ink from Hero Arts. To get a good impression, I'm using a little wooden Chucky tool my friend Trudy Newman made and sent to me. And now I'm going to sprinkle some sparkle embossing powder over the top of my impression here. I'll pick it up with some reverse tweezers and then melt this embossing powder. This embossing powder is clear, but it has some glitter or sparkles, iridescent sparkles included in it. So when it melts and you shine it in the light, you'll get some iridescent reflection in the clear embossing powder. It creates a really nice sparkle, but also tone-on-tone look. I wanted to show you this melting as well, because which crafter or what crafter doesn't just totally love melting embossing powder? And now I'm going to leave this panel the size that I cut it at A2. That's 4¼ by 5½ inches. And here I think you can see hopefully the sparkle that is in that powder. It's much better in real life. Next, I'm going to die cut my fancy window die out here, taping it down with some purple tape and then running it through my Gemini Junior. And this is the panel that I created. I'll trim it down just 1/8 of an inch on all sides. Now when you do this, you're going to create, it's not a problem at all, but you're going to create really thin, narrow margins on some of this panel. So I'm going to use some foam tape, go around the thicker parts of the margin, but then when it comes to the thinner margins on the panel, I'm going to have to split my foam tape in half with some scissors. Not a problem. Crafty people are super crafty. Now when I lay my panel down on top of my heat embossed panel, I'm going to line it up first longwise and then pop it right down. That way you make sure that it's going to be even on all sides. Now we're going to do some really super simple Copic coloring here. Nothing fancy. The fanciest thing about this project is the fancy dye. I wanted to color my butterfly yellow just to keep my project all one kind of monochromatic look. So I've got yellow and white, and that's it. The only black you'll see is the ink on my butterfly. Now this butterfly had already been created because when I get products in, I like to stamp them and die cut them and have a bunch of them already made. So I just pulled one out of my stash and colored it in. Now I just pop it up on the front of my panel and create a little tiny sentiment. This word high is in the Bug You stamp set as well. Just ink it up with some Intens-ified black ink, and I'll trim it down to a little square, and I'm going to pop it up in front of my butterfly. And it's just a simple hello card, right? Sometimes you just want to say hi. If you have a card like this in your stash, or you make several of these cards, then you can just send them whenever. This could be a birthday card, it could be a what's up, how you doing card, it could be any kind of card. Just saying hello, or you can add sentiments on the inside of your card to make it more specific to the situation. Super fun, super simple project. And now to finish off my card, I'm going to add some sunset enamel dots from Hero Arts. I start with the largest one near the sentiment, and then above it a medium size, and then above that a smallest size. These have adhesive already on the back of them. As you can tell, it got stuck to the other side of my fingernail. And now I do the same thing on the other side of my large enamel dot. So now I have kind of a W or zigzag of enamel dots on the front of my project. I really appreciate you spending some time with me today. And if you haven't had a chance to shop for the add-ons, I think it's really worthwhile die and stamps that I showed you here today. So versatile. You could change the colors out on this card and make them your own. And you could make a whole set of these cards and make a boxed set of cards for a gift for someone. I just think that these things are super easy to create and super fun as well. I hope you have a wonderful day. If you haven't subscribed to the Hero Arts YouTube channel, click that button.